Today we will discuss a few generic things related to the way we will write our future programs. First thing on today's agenda, let's talk about character casing. In a previous lesson I was indicated to you that you should copy the exact instructions that are typed, taking into account the identical character casing. This is because in a C# programming language, uppercase letters are different from the lowercase ones. To demonstrate this, you only have to change the name of the main function and replace the capital letter M with the lowercase character m. When you will try to compile the program again, you will receive an error because, like I said, every C# program needs a main function to know which is the execution entry point. A method called main with a lowercase m is completely different from a method called main with an uppercase M, which is expected by the compiler. In conclusion, always be careful about the casing the codes you write. The next point we need to discuss about is related to comments. Comments are just a way to tell to ourselves and other programmers information related to our program and the codes they contain. When we compile our programs, comments are simply ignored by the compiler, so they have no real meaning for the program itself. They serve no purpose in the execution. However, as programmers, especially when working on large programs, you will soon realize the need to leave information or reminders or explanations along your codes so that you can remember what those codes are supposed to do. In C#, we can add comments in two ways. First of all, just as you see, by placing two forward slashes, we are making the compiler ignore all the text that follows until the end of the particular line. This is the most common type of comment you will often see in source codes. The second way of commenting codes is one that will let you comment out entire blocks of code spanning on multiple lines. We can use this style of comment by placing a forward slash and an asterisk at the beginning of the code we want to comment, and an asterisk followed by a slash at the end of it. As a general rule, most programmers agree that it is better to have too many comments than too few. Get yourself used to code out your codes. Best programmers do. And no matter how sure you feel you will never forget what your code is supposed to do, trust me, you will. Another thing related to programming that has no meaning for the compiler but makes programming much more easier is code formatting. Consider the following codes. If you imagine that they all produce the same result, you are right. However, you have to admit some of them are hard to impossible to read. Code formatting is a process of using tabs for indentation of codes, so they are easier to comprehend. Just imagine a 5,000 lines program written on a single line. Visual Studio will format your codes by default, but still, sometimes it might fail to do so. Whenever you want to reformat your codes manually, you can do so by either clicking on the Edit menu and choosing Advanced Format Document option, or by using the Ctrl-K followed by Ctrl-T key shortcuts. To conclude this session, let's talk about the semicolon character again. As I said in the previous lesson, statements are always ended with this character. Consider this character equivalent of a dot in human language. Whenever we want to separate a sentence from another, we use a period sign. Identically, a semicolon character tells a compiler where a statement ends, so it can be viewed as a delimiter between a statement and another. Today's topics are done. In the next lesson, we will have the first look at actually starting to understand the simplest units of codes, variables. Until then, thank you for your time and goodbye.